Hello and welcome to a Machu Picchu vlog. We are here in Peru and I think this is definitely the reason that a lot of people come to Peru. So I thought I would document it on its own. I'm going to be brutally honest, Tom and I are suffering from some kind of stomach bug combined with altitude sickness at the same time. I think maybe today the altitude sickness might be better because we've been here for like a day and a half now. I'm hoping we've adjusted. But yeah, obviously the situation is not ideal. We have booked to do a 2-day Inca Trail trek to Machu Picchu. So that involves a 12-kilometer trek today when I'm not feeling very well, and then tomorrow it's mainly just seeing Machu Picchu and seeing the town. So today is the main bulk of it. So we're basically setting off pretty much right now. We need to go downstairs. It is 3:04. I'm not even sure that you can call that the morning. Like, that is still just the night. But we've booked this through a company called
Yorkshire Explorers.
Yorkshire Explorers. I'll pop them on screen, I'll link them down below. And it wasn't cheap, but it was the going rate for like any of these trips. If you want to trek the Inca Trail, it's really quite expensive, which I understand why, but it did kind of shock me. Something that I don't know if you realize when you see it on Instagram is that if people have trekked the Inca Trail to get to Machu Picchu, that is like £400–500. So it's a lot of money. We're doing a shorter trip because it's like we knew. It's like past us knew that we weren't going to be well. We thought like a 2-day hike is kind of our limit. We're not hikers. We're not really big into walking. I completely get if you are, this would be so up your street. You can do like 4-day treks, 5-day treks. You can camp. There's loads of different options. We have opted to stay in a hostel tonight, which I'm quite grateful for now that I'm not feeling well, that they have like a shower and a toilet. But yeah, we need to go downstairs and get picked up, and I believe it's a 2.5-hour drive to get to the town where we start. So it's gonna be a long old day. We're armed with a lot of electrolytes, a lot of altitude sickness drugs, all of the drugs basically. I'm gonna bring you along. After a pretty bumpy car ride that lasted 2 hours, we arrived at the train station that feeds to Machu Picchu. I'll pop the name on screen, I can't pronounce this, but basically this takes you even closer to the base of the mountain, and there are a couple of stops. We got off at one where the Inca Trail begins. But honestly, this was so well organised, and the entire way is just like breathtaking views of the mountains. After 2 hours on the train, it is time to get off at the correct station, hopefully. This lady's telling us what to do. So the windows are amazing. Look at these skylights. We've got 2 little packed lunches. One says no chicken, which is my one. Yeah, this is no northern rail. I've enjoyed this. And then we had arrived at the beginning of the trek. This was where our 2-day trail started. And you do actually have to bring your passport to Machu Picchu because they have limited entry onto the Inca Trail every single day, which is worth noting because you don't want to forget that. And it's also really good because it means it's never too busy. It's not crowded. They've done a really good job of keeping this like a really peaceful, quiet location. We barely saw anybody. We are in Peru in its low season, but I was surprised it wasn't busier. And before we knew it, we were standing amongst Inca ruins. The trek had begun and it was spectacular. Like, I knew that these would be impressive, but the way that these ruins are just built into the side of the mountain, and they've been there since the 1400s, and they have withstood earthquakes, weather, just natural erosion over that time. It is impressive, and it kind of feels fake to be standing amongst them. I can't lie, when they told us the first 6 kilometers of this trek were going to be the hardest, I did not anticipate just how difficult it would be. I would say I have a very normal level of fitness. I'm not particularly fit, but I'm not the most unfit person you will come across, and I was struggling with this. A better reference point is that Tom is pretty fit and he was also struggling with this. There's a TikTok audio at the moment that's like the view versus what I heard at the time, and it's just the person being like, that's me.
This is tough.
Goodness. So I'm coming to you from an Inca ruins. This is just crazy. I don't actually feel as though I can convey what this feels like and the like history that is here. And also, like, at this angle it's like, wow, yeah, some ruins, that's pretty cool. Let me show you where they have been built. We are so high up on the side of a mountain that we're actually sort of in the cloud. You can see the river down here. This is where we got off the train. So you can kind of grasp how high we've climbed, and we're not even done yet. To top all of that off, they were built in the 1400s. So like, they were building these structures that have been built to last, by the way. Like, apparently Peru has been hit by some like major earthquakes in like all across history, which I didn't know about. And all of these ruins have stayed. We just don't build buildings like that anymore. How you feeling?
Exhausted.
Yeah, I'm really glossing over the fact that I actually just thought I might have been having a heart attack. Like, I actually walked up the stairs with both my hands on my heart to check that it was like, that it wasn't about to give out, and it felt like it was.
We've done the hard bit.
We have.
Nearly.
First 6 kilometers of the hike that we're doing is the hardest part. It's taken us, what, 2.5 hours? 3.25 hours, okay, so far, so that's a little check-in. If it's taking you 3.5 hours to walk 6 kilometers, it gives you an idea of the terrain that we're walking on.
Yeah, it's going uphill.
It's insanely uphill. It's like I've been on the Stairmaster for 3 hours straight.
We've climbed, to put it in perspective, since the start, 522 metres. It's quite a lot.
It is quite a lot. Although the other day, didn't we climb a kilometre?
No.
Oh, I thought we did. But anyway, Alex, our guide, is giving us all the information, all of the knowledge. He's also walking quite fast. Like, I'm not very fit, and I was like, oh, we could slow down a tiny bit, and he's like, it's fine. March, 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 march. And I'm like, okay. So our hike was kind of split into 2 parts. We had 6 kilometers and then lunch, and then another 6 kilometers. And the last kilometer before lunch, I can't lie, was pretty much straight stairs. I don't know how you did that without using your hands. And this was where I really realized I am not feeling well. I felt so weak, guys, and lunchtime was kind of the turning point. I do just want to add here that this hike is listed as easy on the website, and I actually just don't think that that is true. I had been going to the gym to go on the Stairmaster in preparation for this, and let me tell you, I was not prepared. So I had my lunch. It was this omelette, pre-packed. We got to bring it with us, and then the day took a little bit of a turn, because from here I felt more and more ill. Eating was a mistake, but I was so torn because I obviously needed to eat, but I ended up basically throwing this straight back up, which then kind of obviously ruined the vibe and made the following 6 kilometers very difficult. There was nothing I could really do. I was doing my best to continue looking around, taking this in, because truly, guys, it was the most spectacular place I've ever seen. I can't put into words how it actually felt to be here. If you have visited Machu Picchu yourself, please do drop a comment, let me know I'm not the only one that struggles to describe this, because people have asked me how it was, and all I can really say is like breathtaking, spectacular, all the adjectives. But just look at where we are walking.
We were there. We started the third mountain. The second mountain is there. The first mountain was there.
Bless him. Alex, the guide, then did carry my bag because I really was just fighting for my life to carry on walking 6 kilometers. And finally, we arrived at the viewpoint of Machu Picchu.
We made it. That is a big yawn. You're not good. But we made it. We made it. And look at that view. Wow. Imagine if we'd have got here and we couldn't see it.
No, that's actually spectacular. Like, that is amazing. Guys, we've done it. We've only bloody done it. That's only Machu Picchu behind us. Look at that. Not to be dramatic.
Always dramatic.
But today, I don't think I'm being dramatic. I don't think I've ever felt this poorly. Great timing. Really happy about that. What can you do?
To be fair, the walk has been tough.
The walk has been really tough.
It doesn't help when you're really ill as well. So.
No, it doesn't. But hey, you know what? If I'm gonna be sick down the side of a mountain, which yes, I just was, at least there's a nice view. Yeah, twice actually. Yeah, you're right. At least there's a nice view. I sound like I'm joking, but it's actually not funny. I'll give you a roundup when I'm back in the hotel. But completely separate to how I am feeling, we're here to look at this wonder of the world, and I mean, there it is. That's the thumbnail, really, isn't it? That's crazy. It has been a while. I think the last clips you will have seen was probably Machu Picchu, and we went from there. We got the bus straight to our hotel, which, what is this town even called? Okay, so it's called Aguas Calientes, I think, and it's basically the town that kind of feeds to Machu Picchu. So all of the buses are running here, and people are like staying here to do various different excursions and stuff like that. I'm gonna briefly summarize why there's not been any talking to camera footage. I'm sure I've already done that in the voiceover, but Everything was going so well for the first 6 kilometers, starting at the train station and kind of working our way onto the Inca Trail, but like a short version. A lot of people do like a 4-day Inca Trail. We knew when we booked it that 4 days was not really our cup of tea. I do see the appeal if you're really into hiking, and like I can't stress to you how insane this area of the world is. I've never seen anything like it. I never will see anything like it again. Like I can't put it into words. So I do definitely see the appeal of being here for longer, but we just knew that we're not 4-day hikers, and also we don't have that long, so that was a big chunk of our time in Peru if we used 4 days to do that. So we picked to do this 2-day trek, and the first day was the bulk of that. So it was 6 kilometers and then 6 kilometers with a gap for lunch in the middle. The first half honestly was so fine. I was like, wow, maybe I'm better. Like have lunch and then I just get the worst stomach cramping I've ever had. I honestly didn't know what to do. I could barely walk, so I was like, this is not nice, this is not normal, can't really do anything medically about this right now, so I just had to get through it. But we told the guide, and the guide was like, oh, if you have some bicarbonate of soda, it'll help you like get it up. And I thought he meant like burp. He did not. He meant throw it up, and I was already feeling so nauseous anyway. So then I just proceeded, and I'm so sorry, I hate talking about sick. I am somebody that struggles with this as well, so this is your warning to skip a little bit if you don't want to listen, but I'm gonna be 5 seconds. Basically I was sick. Carrying on. As somebody that used to be really emetophobic and now is a lot better with that, it's not something that affects my day-to-day life in the same way anymore, but it's definitely not something that I'm very good at dealing with. And I was standing at the side of this mountain trying not to cry, because I knew that then if I went into a full-on panic, the whole situation was going to be worse. So I was like, just pull yourself together, Molly. Like, you have waited for so long to come and see this wonder of the world. I have not shut up about Machu Picchu to like anybody that will listen. I'm like, oh, so we're going to South America, so Machu Picchu is like our #1. That's all I've said for like the last 6 months. So I was just feeling really devastated that like I'd kind of ruined the day for myself, and there was nothing I could do about it. It wasn't anybody's fault. Also, I was feeling sorry for myself because I really did feel so unwell. There's probably some clips that Tom filmed. Eventually I was like, can you stop filming me? I'm not feeling this. But enough about personally like my day. I just want to say a little bit about the tour. Like, I have learned so much today, despite all of that, about the Incas and the history of this area, but also just about Peru. So we've got this guide Alex who is like taking us around, and usually it would be a bigger group, but it's just Tom and I, which I was so grateful for today, guys.
That'd be embarrassing.
It would have been mortifying if we were in a big group. It was bad enough. There was a group of like, there was an American couple with their guide right next to me as I was being unwell. And they were so sweet, bless them. They like waited out of the way, and then when I was done, the lady came over and like gave me a hug. She like patted me on the arm. She was like, make sure you get better. I was like, I'm really trying my best. He has been telling us so much about like not just Machu Picchu, but also Peru, the history, the culture, the way of life here, like the differences between how we live over in the UK and how life is here, really, which I don't think you really can grasp just by walking around a city. I do think it's very helpful to have that insight, which has been lovely. And we also just went for dinner with him. These are those clips there. Can't say I ate very much, but it was a really nice experience, and I do think that it's a bold statement, but I would do this again. I would love to do this again and feel well, but I do actually really recommend it. Like, take my personal illness out of the equation. Anyway, so we're staying in this hotel this evening, and we are getting up again at 5:30 in the morning to head back to Machu Picchu to actually explore the town, because it is an actual town, and you can kind of have a walk around, explore the ruins, actually just walk amongst it for yourself. Today we went to it and looked at it from the viewpoint, but tomorrow we're going to get to actually go and see it. So I'm hoping that I feel a lot better in myself, and I'm going to get Alex, the guide, to chat to you guys in the vlog and be able to tell you a bit more about it, because obviously he knows better than I do. He has also taken me this evening to see a pharmacist to get some antibiotics. It was so helpful. He could obviously speak in Spanish to the doctor, and basically we finally got to some kind of solution. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I already feel so much better, that tomorrow is upwards. Yeah, when you see the photos on Instagram and they're not like super aesthetic, like I took a different jumper, I wanted to like get some nice photos, take some nice content. It was all I could manage to even stand up and take a photo, to be honest. But what can you do about it? Right, I'll see you at 5:30 in the morning when I've had the best sleep of my life. Good morning. It is day 2. Pleased to report feeling considerably better. We got up at 5:30, it is now 6:30. We've had a little bit of breakfast, managed some dry sugar puffs, which was a really random find. And now we are gonna head out on day 2 of our Machu Picchu expedition, and today that involves exploring the actual city and the actual ruins of Machu Picchu itself. So I'm very excited, to be honest, and I'm so excited that I feel well enough to do so. So we started our day off by hopping back on the bus to go to the base of Machu Picchu. This takes about 30 minutes from the town, and you're basically just winding your way up the mountain that whole time. And then we pretty much got straight on with a guided walking tour, and we are so glad that we did it this way because we learned so much.
The houses, look at that.
Wow.
All the houses is in this, all the windows, the doors. The orientation is at the east side. Why?
Yeah.
From there,
To see the view?
the sun.
Oh, the sun. Yeah, not to see the view. To see the view. Look, alright. This is cracking me up editing, guys, because honestly I think I was struggling during this vlog, okay? My brain was not functioning at its normal capacity, but we basically had this tour for 2 hours and we learned so much about how the Incas built these houses, how they've stood the test of time, and also how it was discovered, because it was not found until 1911 when an American explorer discovered it, and it didn't become a wonder of the world until 2007, which I would say is fairly recently, and given that it is now so iconic and famous, and I would say probably what people think of when you say Peru. As well as this, we also did see a lot of llamas and alpacas whilst walking around, which is just another tick off the Peru bucket list. It was just crazy to be so up close and personal with this wonder of the world. Like, there's still rooms that you can walk into, there's working fountains, like the plumbing in this place still works. I can't stress to you how crazy this is.
Look at this, the first one. Probably was bitter, poisonous, we don't know exactly. And look at this now. Oh, delicious.
This is going to be our last view of the city behind us. I currently can't really see what I'm filming, but
Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu. I was genuinely so pleased that I was feeling well enough to enjoy this and take this all in, because it just was a once in a lifetime experience. Hello guys, we are back in the town and it is only actually 11 AM, so the day feels like we should be at about 4 in the afternoon, but it's 11 and I'm flagging a bit and my body's doing its very best to recover, but I would love a nap. Anyway, we have come to just get a little drink and a snack because we are meeting back up with Alex, our tour guide, for lunch, but I have gone for a herbal concoction of tea. And if you haven't ever been to Peru or researched anything about Peru or altitude sickness, but specifically altitude sickness in Peru, you might not know that their main way of combating it is with coca leaves, which is this leaf here. It's actually the same leaf that produces cocaine, obviously not in that form, but the properties of it at altitude are that it combats altitude sickness along with loads of other different things. But basically everybody here is recommending it for chewing it, and you just put it in your mouth, you don't swallow it or anything, you just kind of chew it, keep it in your mouth. But it's also meant to have loads of properties. Alex was telling us about how it just makes you feel like a really strong person, and it makes your body and your mind just feel better. Obviously we don't have it. It is actually illegal to take it out of Peru. You can't export it, just because I presume if it falls into the wrong hands and you know what to do with it, you could maybe make cocaine with it. I actually don't know. So yesterday we were nomming on them and I thought I'm gonna get, this is cocoa leaf and mint tea. It's got a lot of gubbins in it, but I'm hoping that it kind of helps. It's okay. So this is the town that we spent the evening in last night, and where we were just having coffee. I mean, what an impressive backdrop. Also, we literally weren't having a coffee, were we?
Yeah, where did that come from?
I don't know, I just instinctively said we were having a coffee, but I had a tea and you had a water. Oh, run Forrest, run. Anyway, what I was going to say was this backdrop is so impressive. As you can probably see by the water hitting the lens though, it is raining. It's not ideal, the raincoat is out, but I'm just really glad that it wasn't like this when we were at Machu Picchu this morning. It did actually rain yesterday when we were hiking. That was honestly another addition to the awful turn of events in the afternoon, because the morning was sunny, in the afternoon it was really rainy. But I feel like I didn't really pay any attention to it because I was so focused on how I felt and not being sick. And then when we got back, all of our clothes were soaked through, so I was like, oh, really was raining. But yeah, this is the town, this is the main square. We've had a little wander around it, and I think we're going to head back towards the hotel, collect our bag, have a little sit down, and then we're going to meet back up with Alex for some lunch. That's so cool. Yeah. Thank you, gracias. What is it?
This is seafood.
What's on fire?
Why is it on fire?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, it looks very good. What are you eating?
Alpaca.
Alpaca.
I know, I'll pack up my bags.
Oh wow, look what's happening. We've got our train tickets, we are boarding. This is back to Ollantaytambo, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce because I don't know how you say that. But that is where we actually got off the train yesterday. The journey that we're doing right now is actually the journey that we hiked yesterday. We're not hiking it back. We never were, but definitely not. I will say, guys, it's very well organised. Like, there's trains running all the time. I think he said starting from 4 AM. So it's like very, very efficient. There's trains everywhere. You've got your seat allocation. Everybody's lining up in letters. It's not like standing in King's Cross and fighting for your life to get on. They've got this down to a T. We're on a pretty basic one, but you can actually do like a 360 dome one, which I believe is all glass. I don't know how expensive that is, but it would be pretty cool. However, the ordinary one, the regular one that we're getting, it has skylights, which is pretty cool. That's cool enough for me. We are ready to head back to Cusco. Final leg of the journey.
I feel sad that we've left him.
I know, I feel so sad.
So nice.
We just said goodbye to Alex, his little photo. I'm gonna miss him. This is the other end, guys. So this is the, oh, are we getting in this? This is the train station closer to Cusco. Now we are going to the car park area to get on one of the many, many shuttle buses running back to Cusco. Yeah, we have like a taxi transfer, but there are bigger buses. And Alex did say that this time of day, obviously it's like 4 PM, it's the end of the day. Everybody's heading back to Cusco, so it could be really busy on the roads. There's one road in and one road out. No doggy. So basically it could take some time. My sunglasses are disintegrating on my nose. Good. Hello guys. So it has been a while since Machu Picchu, and I realised of course I didn't end this vlog, although to be fair, by the time we got back to Cusco, I was practically already asleep. But I just kind of wanted to round off this vlog because if any of you are watching this because you're planning your own trip, I really, really do recommend Yapa Explorers. They're the company that we use. Not only was the actual trek kind of perfect for what we wanted it to be, other than obviously me not being well, but also the company themselves were really, really good. They were very responsive. If we had any questions beforehand, they were really good with that. We also got to meet them before we even started the trek, so we met Alex like the night before. And also he was so lovely when I wasn't well, so I just feel as though overall to recommend a company, I do recommend this one. This is also the recommendation that Peru Hop give, and I feel as though they really know what they're doing. We kind of booked everything with them and we didn't really have any hiccups, and even this ran very smoothly. The only hiccups were because of me, so like, yeah, I'm gonna link them down below. I'll also link the exact trek that we did, but I hope you have enjoyed it. I feel as though this was a once in a lifetime experience, getting to visit a wonder of the world. And now that some time has passed since, I obviously can look back on with hindsight, I think it was absolutely worth it. Feeling that unwell, it didn't even really take away from the experience now that I've got hindsight on my side, because I just think that I have never visited anywhere like it. Like, it's stunning, guys. It is just crazy to me that we live in a world where things like that still exist, and it blew my mind a little bit actually. Big takeaway from Peru is that everything is so varied. You'll see in the next vlog when we spend a lot of time in the desert that this country has everything. Like, it has the coast, it has the jungle, it has the mountains, it has the desert. I've never visited somewhere with more varied landscapes than Peru. Machu Picchu is probably the highlight of that. So thank you so much for watching the vlog. Thank you so much for getting to the end. Do drop a comment if you have visited Machu Picchu. Let me know if you would want to visit. Obviously, not ideal to do it when ill. I also do recommend if you, I was gonna say if you think you would suffer with altitude sickness, but I don't think there's any way to tell. So I would just say to prepare to feel the altitude sickness. I was prepared. There was nothing that really helped, to be honest. If you've got any tips and tricks, do let me know in the comments down below. That would be helpful for other people if they're researching. Coca leaves are what Peruvian people would tell you helps. They didn't really help me. You can get actual altitude sickness tablets. We didn't try those because we weren't that prepared when leaving the UK, and whenever we went to a pharmacy in Peru, they just were recommending like herbal things. So yeah, other than that, I'm gonna go. I shall be back on my channel on Tuesday with the final Peru vlog. There have been 3 from this country. There's gonna be 3 from Argentina as well, which is our next location and where I actually currently am. So behind on posting everything, guys. But yeah, other than that, I shall see you on my channel very, very soon. Goodbye.